The Yandere brother insists on holding his little sister every night to sleep together. He covers the room with photos of his sister, even locks her up to force his love upon her. At first, the girl thought her brother's obsession was just a sick possessiveness. But every day, she has incredibly realistic dreams. In those dreams, she and her brother are doing unspeakable things. Finally, the girl realizes her brother's love for her is romantic love. And shockingly, her brother isn't even human. All of this happens because Juliet was chosen to enter a horror game. She must survive inside for 7 days to make it out alive. A cold, electronic voice echoes in her ears. You and your brother were adopted by your parents from an orphanage. But just yesterday, your parents suddenly went missing. And your brother's behavior has grown increasingly strange. Newbie tip: your brother loves you very much. Be sure to listen to him. Well, do not disobey him. Or else, he'll get angry. Juliet's face twists into a constipated expression after hearing this. Right now, she's locked inside a pink-themed room. Dolls and stuffed animals are piled in the corner. When Juliet looks at them, she feels uneasy, as if their eyes are staring straight at her. Suddenly, a figure appears before her. Juliet stumbles back in fright. Jewel, you're awake. A gentle, pleasant voice speaks. Only then does Juliet clearly see the figure's face. He is strikingly handsome. She exudes a clean and pure aura. Only her skin is too pale, her lips too crimson. There's something eerie about it. So this must be the brother from the game. Juliet suppressed the panic in her heart. Her voice soft and sweet. Brother, why are you standing outside? Brother affectionately patted Juliet's head. Because I just finished making breakfast. I was about to call you, little sleepyhead, to wake up and eat. Juliet suddenly felt a chilling coldness. It spread from the crown of her head down to her entire body. This boy's hand was too cold. This wasn't a temperature a human could have. So the man before her was most likely a ghost. Juliet's scalp prickled with fear. But on the surface, she remained obedient. Got it, brother. I'll go wash up first. Brother's gaze was deep and dark. He stared straight at Juliet's face. After scrutinizing her for a few seconds, he finally spoke. Hurry up, or the breakfast will get cold and won't taste good. Brother, go wait at the table first. I'll be right there. Juliet forced herself to act relaxed. She closed the door. Yet even after entering the bathroom, she could still feel that icy gaze fixed directly on her. After washing up quickly, Juliet glanced at the mirror by chance. Her reflection suddenly twisted into something grotesque. Crimson blood trickled from her eye sockets, then slowly pooled into a single word. Die. Juliet murmured Dad, softly. Why did she call me Dad? Is there some kind of hint here? Am I not playing the role of the little sister? Actually, my true identity is the father. The female ghost in the mirror stared like an idiot. Damn, ran into an illiterate one. After Juliet calmly walked out of the room, she realized her home was actually a luxurious villa. Her bedroom was on the 2nd floor, and her brother was already waiting for her in the living room downstairs. Why are you so slow coming down? Juliet obediently sat beside her brother, answering earnestly. While I was washing my face earlier, the mirror suddenly started bleeding, so I wasted some time cleaning it. Juliet carefully observed her brother's expression. She remembered the hint from the newcomer mission. Your brother loves you the most. Plus, she still had a 24-hour newbie protection period, so she believed her brother wouldn't harm her. At least not now. Her brother's expression remained mostly unchanged. He smiled and reached out to ruffle Juliet's head. Little Yue, you've been worried about our missing parents all night. You must have been hallucinating. Juliet feigned exhaustion and nodded. Guess you're right. It must have been a hallucination. Mirrors don't bleed, after all. Don't worry, Lil Yue. Even though Mom and Dad aren't here, I'll protect you. Her brother gently hugged her. Juliet shuddered violently. I just feel like I'm snuggling up to a big block of ice. Gotta admit, Big Bro's cooking skills are top-notch. She ate a whole steamer basket of dumplings and downed a full bowl of shredded chicken congee. A fed mouth is a bound mouth. Her gaze toward him softened a little. A man this domestic. Even if he's a ghost, it's fine. After breakfast, Big Bro looked at Juliet. Jewel, Big Bro's going to work now. Be good at home by yourself. Don't you dare go outside, oh? Juliet nodded. Big Bro, be safe on the way. Who'd have thought? Right before leaving, he suddenly said, Jewel, did you forget something? Juliet's mind flooded with question marks. What did she forget? But she didn't dare ask. Seeing her dumbfounded expression, the corner of his lips curved up. Then he leaned down and kissed Juliet on the mouth. That cold yet soft sensation left Juliet frozen in shock. All right, Big Bro's off to work now. He turned and walked away, watching his retreating figure. Only then did Juliet snap out of it. The sensation wasn't bad, just the sudden lip action. She raised a hand to touch her lips. A bone-chilling coldness crept through her entire body. Big Bro loves you most. That's love double quotes. It couldn't be the romantic kind, could it? Seizing the chance while he was gone, Juliet started familiarizing herself with the villa. The living room had an enormous family portrait of four. The bespectacled, middle-aged man with a refined demeanor. The elegant woman adorned in glimmering jewels. They must be the father and mother of this household. Beside them stands the strikingly handsome older brother. And next to the brother, there she is. As Juliet averted her gaze, her peripheral vision suddenly caught something in the photo. The brother's eyeballs had followed her movement. She snapped her attention back to the family portrait. But the photo had returned to normal. This house was undeniably dripping with an eerie atmosphere. Juliet shrugged and headed to the second floor. The study door wasn't locked. She gently turned the handle and pushed it open. A wave of frigid air rushed at her face. Scattered documents lay across the desk. Juliet flipped through them casually. Nothing but useless leads. Then, her eyes shifted to the drawer beneath the desk. A brass lock secured it. An obvious hint that something important lay inside. Juliet didn't hesitate. She grabbed the nearest tool and smashed the lock open. As she scanned the contents of the documents, her frown deepened. A thick stack of papers, all of them adoption agreements. And the very first one bore her name. Name, Juliet. Date of birth, November 28th, redacted. Physical condition, healthy. So, I've only been adopted for a year and a half. And in just 1 week, I'll turn 18. 1 week. The game's survival requirement is also 1 week. Juliet continued flipping through the second adoption agreement. Name, Luli. Date of birth, November 28th, unknown year. Physical condition, suffers from dissociative identity disorder. My brother's birthday is the same as mine. Is this a coincidence? She flipped through the third adoption agreement, then the fourth, the fifth. Over 20 adoption agreements in total. All these children's birthdays were on November 28th. This date must be very special. This couple didn't adopt children for charity. They took in so many orphans. But where did those orphans end up? Juliet scratched her head. Her head itched, felt like a brain was growing in there. She continued wandering around the villa. Then she discovered there was actually a basement in the villa. But it seemed to be locked from the inside. She couldn't open it. Juliet decided to look for a tool. But then she heard the basement door suddenly making a click-click-click noise. As if someone was on the other side, scratching the door with their nails. Juliet felt her scalp tingle. She kept her distance from the basement. And for some reason, every time she got close, she felt nauseous. Seems like whatever's inside isn't good. She decided to stay away from the basement for these 7 days. Juliet finally decided to check her brother's room. The game's mission name and hints were all about him. Maybe there were important clues in his room too. Next to her bedroom was her older brother's room. The door was unlocked as well. She walked right in. But the scene inside left her frozen in shock. Every inch of the walls was covered with photos of her. Those pictures captured her every smile and frown. Some showed her eating, shopping, or in class. There were even photos of her sleeping. It was bone-chilling. Turns out her brother was a creep who stalked her with a camera. Juliet had originally planned to search his room for secrets. But after seeing those photos, she quietly backed out of that sicko's space. She returned to the living room. Spotting a massive TV, she turned it on. She couldn't leave the villa yet. Watching TV might help her stay connected to the outside world. But static snow filled the screen upon startup. An unsettling electric buzz crackled from the speakers. Soon, the TV switched to a normal broadcast. A crime report was airing. A male reporter held a microphone. At 9:15 this morning, a male corpse was retrieved from the lake at Ronghu Park in the Northern District. Juliet's gaze locked onto the body. It was impossible to tell how long it had been submerged. The corpse was bloated and decomposed, covered in wounds. Though the marks seemed chaotic, they resembled some kind of ritualistic pattern. Suddenly, Juliet's pupils constricted sharply, because she saw something unbelievable. The male corpse lying on the ground slowly stood up. But the surrounding staff and reporters seemed completely unaware of the abnormality and continued with their work as usual. Soon, he walked up to the television, as if he might crawl out of the screen at any moment. Juliet sat on the sofa, not blinking. Though the corpse was terrifying, she had a 24-hour newbie protection period, so she wasn't the least bit panicked. But the next second, the TV screen turned into chaotic static. Juliet waited a few minutes, but the television still didn't return to normal. Holding a pillow, she dozed off in the living room. When she woke up, her older brother had already returned from work. Juliet ran over to greet him, wearing an obedient and sensible expression. Her brother's demeanor was indifferent. Only when he saw Juliet did the corner of his mouth curve slightly. He gently pulled her into his arms. "Did you miss me while I was away?" Juliet wrinkled her nose. She caught a faint scent of disinfectant alcohol on her brother, along with an almost imperceptible hint of blood. Was her older brother involved in something like murder and body disposal? "I missed you a lot at home." Juliet lied through her teeth. Suddenly, her lips felt cold again. Her brother kissed her lips, then raised a hand to pat her head. "Jul is so well behaved. I'll go make dinner for you." This damn hentai had kissed her for the second time. Even though her brother was Yandere and obsessive. But she's presentable in the living room and handy in the kitchen. Dinner was ready in no time. Just as Juliet was about to dig in, her brother directly picked up a piece of meat and held it to her lips. "Little Juliet, let your brother feed you." Her brother smiled gently. Juliet didn't know whether to eat it or refuse, but remembering the newcomer's reminder not to anger her brother, she finally took that small piece of meat, then said sweetly, "Thank you, brother." Unexpectedly, her brother seemed to have found a new amusement. After Juliet swallowed, he continued feeding her. The entire dinner was eaten without tasting a thing. Fortunately, the brother didn't torment her further after the meal. Juliet hurried back to her bedroom, planning to take a shower and end this nerve-wracking day. Yet in the bathroom mirror, her reflection once again showed her features bleeding from all 7 orifices. Juliet consciously covered her body. "I'm going to shower now. Don't you dare peek at me." Her reflection rolled its eyes before the eerie scene repeated. Red droplets of blood slowly flowed across the mirror's surface, then coalesced into a crookedly written "die." Juliet pressed her face closer to the mirror, baffled, vaguely comparing what this could mean. Could it be hinting at the female ghost's fate? One peaceful evening, with a beautiful sunset, yet she was stabbed to death with a dagger. She analyzed seriously. The more she thought, the more convinced she became of her reasoning. The female ghost in the mirror Once again, that look, as if staring at an idiot. Happiness is just around the corner. Can't even recognize the word death. After a quick shower, Juliet lay down on the bed. In the darkness, she couldn't shake the feeling that in this room, countless eyes were peering at her from all directions. She didn't know how much time had passed, when suddenly, the bedroom door was pushed open. A tall figure merged with the darkness as it stepped inside. Her brother leaned down by Juliet's bedside. His icy, bone-chilling fingers trailed across her face. In her sleep, Juliet instinctively shivered. Hazily, she felt something like ice rubbing against her cheek. Her small face scrunched up into a frown. But the next second, her lips abruptly turned cold, jolting her awake in an instant, opening my eyes to see my perverted brother's face. In the pitch-black darkness, his features were indistinct. Only those eyes shone startlingly bright. "Jewel, you're awake." The caught-in-the-act brother showed no panic whatsoever, even gazing at Juliet with gentle affection. Juliet felt nothing but creeping dread. She feigned composure. "Brother, why are you in my room?" This damn pervert actually took advantage of her sleep to sneak into her room. Truly inhuman behavior. Such a big villa with just the two of us. Brother gets a little scared at night. Wants to sleep with Jewel. Is that okay? Brother lowered his eyes, his tone negotiative yet leaving no room for refusal. Juliet's mouth twitched, wanting to outright yell, "Think you're the one who's the most terrifying thing," but she values her life, so she stays silent. "All right, Jeej, but I have one condition. You can't touch me on the bed. Otherwise, she's afraid she won't die in the game, but freeze to death from this moving ice block." Jeej nods. Smiling, he says, "All right." Juliet shifts her body slightly. Little did she know, after lying down, Jeej suddenly kisses the corner of her lips. "Good night, Jewel." Juliet's cheeks puff up gradually. "Jeej, can you not kiss me on the mouth?" In the darkness, Jeej's cool voice drifts lazily. No room for refusal. Juliet has no choice. She can only endure. Drowsily, she falls back asleep. But this time, she has a strange dream. The content of the dream is too embarrassing to speak of. She actually dreamed of that perverted Jeej, and the scenes were downright indecent. When she wakes up, Juliet only feels her body sore and weak, with no strength to lift herself. Could it be because she slept with that damn pervert all night and caught a cold from the freezing? The perverted Jeej had already left her room. Juliet yawns and heads to the bathroom first. When she sees the mirror, she's startled. She notices many red marks on her neck. Were there that many mosquitoes last night? They bit so hard. Juliet pouts. Then I realize my lips were a bit swollen too. At this time, Big Brother had already prepared breakfast. Seeing Juliet come downstairs, he smiled and greeted her. "Morning." Jules' face flushed instantly at the sight of Juliet. Seeing her brother, she couldn't help but recall that alluring dream from last night. It was just that the dream felt too real. "Did you sleep well last night?" Her brother gazed meaningfully at Juliet's neck. Juliet nodded awkwardly, answering nonchalantly, "Slept okay. Just that there were quite a few mosquitoes at night. They left several bites on my neck." "Strange. Why didn't they bite you, brother?" Juliet's pitch-black eyes fixed on her brother. His pale skin, her delicate face. Puzzled, her brother chuckled. "Seems even the mosquitoes preferred Jewel more." Juliet silently watched this perverted brother put on an act. After breakfast, before leaving for work, as usual, the brother gave Juliet a goodbye kiss. Juliet went from resisting to accepting. "Whatever. Just treat it as a mosquito bite. Be good at home, Jewel. Don't go outside, okay?" The brother repeated the same words as yesterday. Juliet obediently raised an eyebrow slightly. "Got it, brother. I won't go outside." After the brother left, with nothing to do, Juliet turned on the TV again to see if there were any news about murders or body dumping. The TV screen was still filled with static. Juliet waited a few more minutes, yet the TV still didn't return to normal. Just as she was about to turn it off, she suddenly heard a thud 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 knocking sound. The noise actually came from the direction of the basement. Juliet walked over. Unexpectedly, the knocking grew more frantic. The basement door shook violently from the pounding, as if the entire frame would collapse the next second. "Who's in there?" Juliet shouted. The knocking stopped abruptly. The empty living room instantly fell into an eerie silence. "Juliet, Juliet." A hoarse, grating voice slowly sounded from behind the door, calling out again and again. "Juliet, it's Mom. Let us out, quick." Juliet scoffed, unmoved. "And I'm your damn dad. Opening your mouth and falsely claiming kinship. Did you think I'd fall for it?" In the basement, another man's voice, filled with agony, rang out. "Juliet, I'm your dad. Save us." Juliet remained unmoved. "I'm an orphan. I don't have parents." The basement suddenly fell into silence. Gradually, the woman's hoarse, grating voice spoke again. "Is there a chance that you're the orphan we adopted? We're your adoptive parents." Juliet was stunned, covering her mouth in shock. "So you're my dear adoptive parents? Why didn't you say so earlier?" "Juliet, let us out. Your brother has gone mad. He's locked the two of us in the basement. He's a complete lunatic." The adoptive mother's voice was full of terror. To her words, Juliet nodded repeatedly in agreement. "This perverted brother of mine really isn't right in the head. You're right, Mom. Some of his actions are so strange. They scare me." Juliet's voice trembled. "Don't be afraid, Jul. Just open the door quickly. Let Mom and Dad out. We'll protect you." The adoptive mother continued. Yet, Juliet timidly replied, "I don't dare. I'm scared brother will punish me." "Jul, your brother isn't your brother anymore. If you don't let us out, the next victim will be you." The adoptive mother's tone grew increasingly impatient, yet Juliet continued to ask clueless questions. "What did Mom mean? What's wrong with brother? Actually, your brother is already dead. The one outside is a monster. Your brother's skin. Who is Jul chatting with?" Suddenly, brother's icy voice came from behind Juliet. Juliet froze instantly. She felt as if needles were pricking her back, making her hair stand on end. Why did this creep come back so suddenly? The sounds from the basement had already vanished. It seemed the imprisoned foster parents were terrified of brother. Juliet turned around, her smile stiff. "Brother, why are you back?" Brother's gloomy gaze swept over the basement door. The corners of his lips slowly curled up. "Forgot to take something. So I came back." Juliet nodded obediently. "Then hurry and go get it, brother. Don't you have anything to ask me, Jul?" Brother's question caught her off guard. "Ask what?" Juliet felt unnerved under the gaze of those deep, shadowed eyes. But she didn't dare show any sign of unease. "Jul, Mom and Dad didn't disappear. I locked them in the basement. Aren't you going to ask me why?" Brother's icy fingers traced Juliet's chin. She forced a smile uglier than tears. "Brother must have your reasons for doing this. No matter what you do, I'll always support you." Her docile obedience pleased him. He leaned down and kissed Juliet's forehead. "So good, Jul. Just remember, no matter what I do, it's all to protect you. Mom and Dad wanted to hurt you. Everyone outside is bad too. Only I truly love you. You have to stay by my side forever. You can't leave me." His gentle tone carried a hint of obsession. Juliet shrank back slightly, nodding like a frantic bobblehead. "Got it, brother. I won't leave you. 6 more days. Bye-bye, psycho." He returned to his bedroom. After taking something, he left. Juliet didn't know what he took, but she smelled a strong scent of blood. After my brother left, the basement was always quiet. Juliet whispered, "Mom, Dad, Big Brother has already left. Let's keep chatting." But there was novelist responding to her. Juliet is dull and boring. Back in the living room, he plopped down onto the sofa. Unexpectedly, the TV screen was full of static. The suddenly restored normal scene. This morning at 9:15, in our city, in the lake of Ronghu Park in the Northern District, a male corpse was retrieved from the water. A male reporter held up a microphone, broadcasting news identical to yesterday's. Juliet looked at the corpse on the TV screen. The corpse's decomposition appeared slightly more advanced than the day before. Suddenly, the corpse slowly stood up. The reporter and police officers on screen remained oblivious. The corpse moved closer to the TV screen. Was it just an illusion? Yue caught a whiff of a putrid stench. But the next second, her pupils constricted in shock. The corpse's hand had actually reached out of the screen. Murky, filthy water dripped onto the clean floor. At the same time, the reporter's features on screen twisted into a grotesque grimace, emitting a hoarse, disgusting sounds. Go die. You're next. Juliet's brows furrowed tightly, watching as the male corpse's body nearly finished crawling out of the television. Her expression grew increasingly tense. Finally, the male corpse fully emerged from the TV. A few streaks of water dripped from its body onto the floor. A flash of annoyance crossed Juliet's clear eyes. The floor got dirty. When Big Brother comes back, he'll definitely be angry. In an instant, that rotting hand was about to touch Juliet's leg. Unexpectedly, Juliet sidestepped, easily dodging the bloody hand, then quickly pulled out a mop and shoved it into the corpse's hand. You made the floor dirty, so you're responsible for cleaning it. After the corpse processed this, it immediately threw the mop onto the floor, making the floor even dirtier. Juliet's gaze turned icy in an instant. The corpse continued advancing toward her. The eerie pattern carved into its chest with a sharp knife emitted a sinister red glow. At the same time, the basement door suddenly rattled with pounding again. Let us out. Surprisingly, the corpse paused, as if highly sensitive to the voices of the couple in the basement. But the next moment, it lunged at Juliet again. Juliet tilted her body slightly, effortlessly evading the corpse's attack, despite how terrifying it looked. But actually, there's new special ability. Suddenly, clusters of black mist surged from the male corpse's body, condensing into a massive black hand that abruptly seized Juliet. She felt a bone-chilling cold invade her body. Her face turned deathly pale in an instant. Got you. The disfigured male reporter on the television curled his lips into an eerie grin. Yet just as the ghostly hand touched Juliet's soul, the black hand trembled violently. Why aren't you continuing? Juliet tilted her head, her lips quirking into a faint, unsettling curve. The black mist abruptly scattered without a trace, and the male reporter let out a piercing shriek in unison. Finally, the screen went black. All images vanished completely. Only Ki Yue and the male corpse remained in the living room. The banging on the basement door also suddenly stopped. Clean the floor. Otherwise, Juliet didn't finish her sentence. The corner of his mouth curled into a cold, sinister smile. The man was so scared he pissed his pants, using the fastest speed of midlife to seriously mop the floor. No more bad thoughts dare to cross my mind. And Ki Yue sat on the sofa, with legs crossed. After seeing Theffler was spotless, Juliet told him to go back where he came from. The man quickly crawled back into the TV at an extremely fast speed. The TV screen suddenly lit up. The avatar suddenly took up the entire screen. Juliet's pupils suddenly contracted, because it was unmistakably Big Brother's face. Sizzle, sizzle. Run away, sizzle, sizzle. The sounds fell into Juliet's ears. Juliet's lips were pressed tightly into a straight line. As expected, this game seems to be getting more and more interesting. Second floor. Suddenly, there was a loud thud of something heavy bouncing on the floor. Juliet looks up. The source of the sound was discoveretto be coming from my own bedroom. That thing finally can't hold back anymore? Juliet's footsteps are very light, step by step, heading up to the second floor. And as she got closer and closer to the bedroom, the sound grew louder and louder. As the door was pushed open, the sound incident suddenly stopped. The dim room was quiet. Everything seemed so normal. And at this moment, a plush bear was at Juliet's feet. Juliet picked up the plush bear and muttered to herself, "Strange how this bear ended up here." A faint rotten smell wafted from the teddy bear. Juliet wrinkled the tip of her nose. "So stinky, wanna throw it away." Suddenly, the teddy bear's eyes moved. A mouth stitched together with needle and thread. It seems to have twitched slightly. Juliet patted the stuffed bear's head. She quietly said, "Since you're so sawherd to get my attention, I've decided to take you apart." She took out the small scissors, piercing the teddy bear, slowly cutting upward bit by bit. The white stuffing came gushing out all at once. The surface was stained with scattered red marks. The stench grew even more pungent. Suddenly, a large head fell out of the teddy bear. Seeing delicate facial features, Juliet's breath hitched. "This is big," bro, bowing his head in apology. Unexpectedly, the sound-off door opening rang out. Half of my brother's pale face peeked through the crack in the door. A face devoid of color. The voice was icy. "Got caught." At the same time, brother's avatar suddenly started talking and ran away. "Run for your life." Juliet directly dropped the hot potato in her hands. Without a moment's hesitation, rushed straight into big brother's arms, voice trembling. "Brother, you're finally back." I suddenly saw a profile picture in the room. So scared. Juliet stuck to her brother's body. The piercing cold temperature made her shiver slightly. As if genuinely frightened, the elder brother's slender fingers lifted Juliet's chin. The two of them locked eyes. The elder brother's eyes were filled with an eerie sense of danger. He was like a top-tier predator, looking at the weak prey that had already fallen into the trap. "Jewel, are you scared of your brother?" The cold voice carried a chill. Yua shook her head. The eyes look innocent and pitiful. "I'm not scared, bro. Just in the room." Suddenly, an avatar identical to my brother's appeared. I thought something had happened to my brother. Now, seeing my brother safe and sound, standing right in front of me, I'm relieved then. Her tone was full of concern. Not a hint of anything unusual could be heard. Brother's icy gaze remained fixed on Juliet. Juliet felt creeped out by his stare. To dispel the suspicions of the perverted brother, Juliet suddenly stood on tiptoe, taking the initiative to kiss on Big Brother's lips. The chilling atmosphere around suddenly turned warm and lively. A faint smile curled at the corner of Big Bro's lips. "No matter what happens in the future, Jewel, you must never leave your brother's side. Otherwise." Big Brother's gaze fell onto Juliet's legs. Juliet suddenly felt a dull ache in both legs. "This damn pervert. Are you thinking of breaking her legs?" Sure enough, the next words out of brother's mouth sent Juliet's hair standing on end. "Otherwise," the brother chopped off Jewel's legs. "Let you stay in this villa forever." Accompanying Big Brother, Juliet's chin left a red mark on it instantly. She forced herself to stay calm. "Big Brother, Joel will never leave you." Big Brother finally shifted his gaze to the portrait on the ground. He stepped down without a change in expression, like stepping on a big watermelon and squashing it flat. "This room is already dirty. I'll change the room for Jewel." The curve of Brother's lips carried a hint of danger. The voice was cold, devoid of any warmth. Juliet wouldn't dare refuse. I could only nod repeatedly. "Thank you, bro." Her gaze inadvertently fell upon the other dolls in the corner. The eyes of those dolls were all filled with terror. They all seemed to be very afraid of Big Brother. Does every one of these dolls shave a head stuffed inside? Could these profile pictures belong to those orphans who were once adopted? The puzzles are realizing more and more. Juliet followed her brother to a room on the third floor. A musty, damp smell hit me as soon as I stepped inside. Pitch black. Can't see a damn thing. Brother, do I have to stay in this room? Juliet asked uneasily. This place gives her a very uncomfortable feeling. Yeah. This room was carefully prepared by Big Brother for Jewel. I've always wanted to give Jewel this surprise. Brother's tone carried a hint of hidden excitement. Suddenly, Juliet's ankle felt a sharp chill. The sound of chains clinking suddenly rang out. This damn pervert actually imprisoned her. Juliet forced herself not to curse out loud. Big Brother, Joel prepared this room for you. Do you like it? Brother's pale face. A faint blush spread across. The calm eyes betrayed a restrained excitement. Like your damn balls. Fade into the throat. Juliet nodded. Whispered reply. Thank you, bro. I really like it. Big Brother is very satisfied. Kiss on Juliet's forehead. Jewel, don't blame your brother. Everything your brother does is for your own good. Just like that, Juliet was imprisoned in this pitch-black little room. She endured everything without complaint. Lying in bed, bored out of my mind. At night, Big Brother walked in carrying an exquisite dinner. After finishing the meal, Juliet said to his brother, Brother, I want to take a shower. There is no bathroom in the small room. Go to the restroom across the hallway. Big Brother unlocked these shackles for Juliet. She smiled faintly and said, Jewel, don't even think about trying to run away. Juliet curled her lips. She wasn't thinking of running away at all, but really wants to take a shower. She has to survive in this world for 7 days. Brother is really perverted though. Has an almost pathologic helplessness towards her. But I have to admit, for now, Brother is actually the safest. Unexpectedly, Big Brother picked up Juliet in one swift motion, taking her to the bathroom. However, after Juliet arrived on the ground, but I found that my brother had no intention of leaving. Brother, I'm going to take a shower. Can you step out for a moment? Who would have thought that the perverted older brother suddenly said, Let me help Jewel take a bath. Juliet was completely stunned. This damn pervert. Can you have some shame? Brother saw Kiwi keeping silent. Raised an eyebrow. Jewel doesn't want to? Juliet originally wanted to refuse, but the words got stuck in my throat. Her gaze swept up and down over her brother. The gaze shifted from cold to burning. Brother has broad shoulders and a narrow waist. The legs are straight and slender. Especially his skin is very fair. I don't know what comes after the glory and glamour. In the end, blue triumphed over reason. Juliet was being all shy and coy. Then just take a shower together. Brother's eyes brimmed with a smile. He leaned close to Juliet. Obviously, his body was ice cold to the bone. But Juliet could feel the temperature in her growing increasingly scorching. Brother's anger. The situation becomes dangerous. He was biting fiercely. Juliet's lips were numb. All defenses crumbled with it a fight. And just as her brother was about to give her a grand and glorious send-off, an electronic voice suddenly exploded in Juliet's mind. Ding, your system is now online. But the next second, what are you doing? The system was screaming at the top of its lungs. It's just going for an upgrade. I didn't expect to see such an amazing scene right after turning it on. All the atmosphere at Themant is completely gone. Juliet pressed her brother's hand. Let out a soft cry. Brother can't. Facing Juliet's sudden rejection, he stopped moving. Does Jewel not like her brother? His voice was yet filled with temptation. But the system's appearance instantly snapped her back to her senses. Brother, I'm your little sister. We shouldn't do this. After saying that, Heron out of the bathroom. Back to the room. Brother didn't follow anymore. Looks like he needs to cool off a bit longer. Alright, system. You can get the hell out now. Juliet gritted his teeth in anger. Bring out that damn crappy system. In her consciousness, a small shadow slowly emerges. Host. I didn't mean to interrupt your moment just now. Juliet didn't blame it. Just a calm questioning. Where the hell have you been these days? The system said guiltily. Not familiar with the job. I didn't expect the first world he'd bring you to would be. It's a high-latitude world. Ended up draining all my energy. So I fell into a deep slumber. And then sneakily upgrade a bit on the side. Hearing the system's reply, Juliet's brows were tightly knitted together. This world is indeed a bit eerie. I just arrived in this world. Was forced into a strange game. Only complete the task. I was only able to leave alive. But luckily. Now you're back. With your help, I should be able to complete the game smoothly. The frown on Seventh Knight's brow smoothed out again. The gaze toward the system is filled with tender affection. She practically treats the system as her future golden finger. Unexpectedly, the system became even more guilty. Host, did I tell you when he was tying you up? I'm a love obsessed said stritty system dog. The system suggests you rephrase that. Otherwise, I'll kill you right this instant. Juliet in the original world. It's a wandering, lonely ghost. She doesn't have memories from the past. Day after day, living a dull and monotonous life. Till one day, the system suddenly appeared before her. Ghost girl, I'd give you a body to bring you back to life. But the price is being bound to me. Complete some simple tasks. Do you want to? Juliet was outdittered of being a ghost. Can't eat human delicacies. Cannot drink human beverages. Don't even think about playing with men. So he agreed to bend with the system. And just as a guy need a flesh and blood body. Just about to go find a guy to have some fun with. The next second, she appeared in this eerie world. The system now tells her. It's just a dating sim strategy system. Useless except for helping the host seduce men. At this moment, the system suddenly emitted a notification sound. Target detected. Host, please proceed to target subject of your strategy. Target's current affection level, 70%. The system's surprised little expression quickly turned into excitement. It's so excited that thief of our ability is this high. Speed, Lord, you can definite a link where this successfully. Juliet looked toward the door. At some point, Big Brother was already standing outside the door. So my target to conquer is this perverted brother. Juliet was completely dumbfounded. System, keep up the good work. Host, don't chicken out. Just like in the bathroom earlier. Woo la la la. Hell out and let my mind quiet down. Juliet obediently called out, Big Brother. Brother. Slender fingers rested on Juliet's damp hair. Jul, why haven't you dried your hair? Juliet's tone was stiff. Just changed clothes and didn't have time to fix up yet. He stared intently at Juliet's face. Like a terrifying beast, staring intently. A few seconds passed before slowly, withdrawing his gaze, Juliet's body instantly felt lighter. This damn pervert. The thoughts are too heavy. Big Brother turned it in the hairdryer. The breeze blows through the hair in Juliet. She slightly raised her head. From her perspective, she could clearly see her brother's delicate face. His gaze was earnest and focused. High nose bridge. The thin lips press it tightly together. I have to admit, brother is a very high-quality romantic target. Although it's also extremely dangerous. The system popped out Andrin through multiple paths. Host, don't just stand there staring, go bite it, eat it, devour it. Eat up and wipe clean. Juliet couldn't be bothered to deal with this useless trash. She yawned, bro. I want to rest. Her voice was soft and gentle. Like acting cute. Brother's eyes flickered slightly. Jul, take a good rest. Juliet tilted her head and looked into her brother's eyes. Big Brother, aren't you going to sleep with me tonight? Brother patted her head. Brother still has to work the night shift today. I'll sleep with Joel again tomorrow. Regarding my brother's mysterious job, Juliet was a bit curious, but too lazy to ask. Bro, be safe tonight. Juliet took the initiative, toppling a kiss on her brother's lips. Brother's lips curled up in a smile. The mood is clearly good. Good night, Jewel. But before leaving, Big Brother still shackled Juliet's ankles with handcuffs. What Brother Key didn't know was, he had just left. My little sister could effortlessly open the shackles with ease. Juliet came to the study, carrying the adoption documents back to my bedroom. That crushed watermelon head still stuck to the floor. The system let out a howl of agony upon seeing it. Juliet patted her ear to shut it up. The damn system is useless again, and also spineless. Looking at the other dolls in the corner, the eyes of those dolls emitted an eerie glow. 123. Juliet suddenly started counting the number of dolls. Her cold, detached voice drifted hollowly through the silent bedroom. 27th. Juliet. The voice paused. The gaze fell upon the plush bear she had cut open on the floor. Then it comes to 28. And the adoption agreement, along with her and her brother. A total of 29 sheets. So the real older brother is, indeed, already dead. The one who got stomped on during the day was him. Juliet casually picked Yupa doll and cut it open. A severely decayed rolled out. However, it can still be discerned that he is the adopted orphan. How the hell did you guys die? Juliet asked the profile picture. And the eerie thing is, the profile picture actually opened its eyes. There was a momentary flash of fear in his eyes. Run away. It frowned deeply. Whether it's the Malacorpse on the TV screen, still this current profile picture, they all made themselves quickly escape the villa. And the female ghost that keeps appearing in the mirror. It's also very possible that he wanted to scare her away, and thus left the villa. But the perverted brother said, she cannot leave the villa. It seems there's an even bigger secret in this villa. Juliet's gaze was profound and unfathomable. Could it be the basement? Suddenly, faint and scattered sounds began to echo in my ears. Juliet's expression changed slightly. All the dolls on the floor suddenly stood up. Their furry bodies whirled twisted and wobbly. The gaze was eerily crimson. Juliet didn't say a word. He kicked open the Nearstottle with one swift strike. Then quickly leave the bedroom. She ran back to the room her perverted brother had specially prepared for her. Quickly closed the door. Since he's contento stay here alone. That means these dolls can't get in for now. Sure enough, the sharp sound of scratching came from outside. A sinister and sharp voice sounded outside the door. We are here to save you. You need to leave this villa immediately. Otherwise, the next stone to die will be you. Juliet remained unmoved. The cold gaze was fixed straight on the door. However, the next second, the scratching sound turned into violent banging on the door. The door frame shook violently, obviously about to can't hold on anymore. The system is trembling with fear. The voice was choked with sobs. The host is so scary. Juliet rolled her eyes. This good-for-nothing little loser. You're a system. Why are you so timid? Wah. Who says a system can't be afraid of ghosts? Juliet's voice suddenly turned icy. But I'm a ghost too. The system is aching like a sieve. But it still explains. A different host. Although you're a female ghost. But being good-looking isn't scary at all. Unlike those messy ghosts. Not paying any attention to one's image at all. Juliet was amused by the system's explanation. I never expected this trash system to be so shallow and judge based on looks. That bunch of little trash outside is nothing to her. Not scary at all. But now, she's just an ordinary mortal. Unable to use ghost power. But only as a last resort. She won't abandon this body. It was hard-earned. She should really cherish it. The banging on the door outside was still deafening. Juliet let out a yawn, shackling the gleaming white ankles once again with manacles. Then lie in bed and wrap yourself tightly in the blanket. Anyway, Thesdolls can't get in. She doesn't have to worry. Until a faint sound was heard. Juliet slowly opened her eyes. The door was gently pushed open. But it was Big Brother who walked in. There was a faint, almost imperceptible mist of blood lingering on him. There were a few drops of deep red blood on the cuff. "Brother, you're back." Juliet just woke up. The hoarse voice was soft and sweet. Brother lowered his eyes. Dangerous gazes fell in Juliet's ankles. It seems this Cheney's useless to Jul. Just some minor details caught his attention. Juliet retracted her feet slightly. The sound of clashing chains rang out clear and crisp. She seriously suspects this perverted brother wants to break her legs. "I miss you so much." At night, something scary keeps knocking on the door. "I'm so scared being home alone." Juliet's entire body curled up in his embrace. Brother is a pervert, though, but easy to appease. Sure enough, the icy aura around brother abruptly vanished, softly saying, "Brother is back. Jul, don't be afraid." Juliet's gaze drifted toward the door. After a night of devastation, the dilapidated door was covered in scratch marks and splattered bloodstains. Creepy. Big Brother removed these shackles for Juliet. His icy fingertips accidentally brushed against Juliet's ankle. It made her tremble uncontrollably. "Jul, your 18th birthday is coming up soon. Do you have any birthday gifts you'd like?" Brother suddenly asked. Juliet suddenly remembered. The final day of the Mission was her birthday. But it's also Big Brother's birthday. She didn't answer right away, but instead asked back, "Bro, what gift do you want?" Big Brother's eyes flickered slightly. The corners of his lips curled into a meaningful arc. He slowly said, "I want you." Juliet's face suddenly turned red. The system howled excitedly at the host. "Hurry up and say yes to him. This is a great chance to take him down." "Jul doesn't want to?" Seeing that she didn't answer, Brother's gaze darkened slightly. Juliet quickly said, I do. After the mission is over. I'll never see this pervert brother again. When the time comes, we'll take everything from him and leave nothing behind, then just walk away without a care." Juliet had made up her mind. Just going for being irresponsible. Brother's mood instantly brightened. He affectionately likes Juliet's face. Since Jul has already promised her brother, then there's no going back. Juliet looked seriously at her brother. Jul likes her older brother. I will never regret it. Ding. Favorability 10. Current favorability 80%. Favorability skyrocketed. But the way Big Brother looked at Juliet grew increasingly dangerous. His crimson eyes narrowed slightly. The smile at the corners of mouth grew increasingly eerie. Juliet came to the bathroom. After washing your face, she looked into the mirror. The female ghost in the mirror had a sinister gleam in her eyes. The crimson blood slowly coalesced into the shape of a peach. Juliet pursed her lips. It seems all your little tricks earlier were just to scare me. Let me get out of here quickly. The bloodstain has changed. It became a thing. The female ghost is willing to be with me. Juliet raised an eyebrow. Hope you can answer a few questions for me. First of all, were you adopted? The orphan's blood writing did not change. It seems the female ghost acid entity is indeed one of them. The orphan who killed you, was it the adoptive parents? The blood-stained word still showed no change. Juliet's expression turned slightly cold. Then he asked, what exactly is brother's true identity? Unexpectedly, the mirror shattered directly. The female ghost in the mirror had her facial features torn apart. The pupils revealed deep fear. She didn't dare to answer. Juliet looked at the shattered mirror. His expression grew increasingly solemn. In the end, she came to a conclusion. The quality of this mirror is a bit poor. In the living room, older brother had already prepared breakfast. Seeing Juliet approach, he beckoned with a flick of his hand. Like calling a dog. Juliet helpless. Afterwards, he held me in his arms. Big brother seems to have just taken a shower. The smell of blood is no longer on me. Replaced by a light woody fragrance. Big brother feeds all breakfast. His voice was deep. The body of Guhuo Julie tensed up for a moment. The heartbeat quickened slightly. I have to admit, She was bewitched by this man. Juliet obediently accepted her brother's hand feeding. A breakfast dragged in for over an hour. Brother worked the night shift yesterday. Should I catch up on some sleep during the day? Juliet expressed his concern. Big brother had a faint smile on his face. Why, Jewel, do you want to sleep with your brother? Okay, I'll keep you company, bro. She hooked her little finger with her brother's. Fingertips brushed head against Big Brother's palm. Arrived at his room in the second floor. The walls on all sides were covered with photos of Juliet. At first glance, I thought I had stumbled into a den of criminals. At this moment, Juliet was like a little lamb stepping into a tiger's mouth. Big Brother's hands are very cold. Her body gradually grew hot with desire. However, when she was expecting her brother to take things further, the man's movements came to a halt. Wait until Jewel's birthday. Juliet instantly felt like a bucket of cold water had been poured over her. This damn man stirred up her desires, but suddenly hit the brakes. Brother, you're a bit naughty. Juliet gritted his teeth. Took a bite on Big Brother's shoulder. Venting their dissatisfaction, Big Brother didn't stop Juliet's little antics. Sleep well. As he spoke, Heck closed his eyes first. Juliet isn't sleepy. But hearing the soft breathing of my older brother, somehow she gradually grew drowsy. When I wake up, Juliet sat up from the bed. Look around. Brother, the system replied to her. The target is on the first floor. At this point, it had already turned completely dark outside. I actually slept for so long. Juliet went downstairs to find her brother. Unexpectedly, just as I reached the staircase landing, I heard a thumping sound coming from the kitchen. The air was filled with a foul, rotting stench. Brother, what are you doing? Juliet came to the kitchen. The scene inside made her eyes flicker for a moment. In the kitchen, there were over 20 heads placed. The brother was holding a blood-stained kitchen knife in his hand. The dark red blood splattered onto his face, making him look eerie and dangerous. But when he saw Juliet, a gentle smile appeared on his face again. Jewel said in the morning that something scary was disturbing your sleep. Big Brother took care of all this stuff. This way, nothing will disturb Jewel at night. And those profile pictures. They all cried out sharply to Juliet for help. The kitchen instantly became even noisier than a wet market. Juliet didn't say a word. These watermelon heads are full of lies. Chopped is chopped. Shut up. Big Brother whispered softly. His eyes flashed with a crimson light. Anyone who wants to take Jewel away from me must die. Big Brother's tone was icy. One by one, swift and decisive. Ye suddenly felt a chill run down his neck. Big Brother didn't go to work tonight. Juliet spent another safe night in the villa. Day 4, Day 5. The 6th day arrived in the blink of an eye, the final day of the mission. Just survive until 12 tonight. The mission for Juliet was successfully completed. These past few days, Juliet stays in the villa every day. All you do is eat and sleep. And there's also Brother's kisses and hugs. Favorability level also reached 95%. And today is her 18th birthday. But a sense of unease lingered in my heart. Every adopted orphan. All birthdays are in November 28th. What on earth is going to happen today? Brother prepared a birthday cake for Juliet. Happy birthday, Jewel. The elder brother's smile grew increasingly eerie. Happy birthday, big bro. Juliet also said the same thing. Jewel, make a wish. Big Brother said softly. Juliet's expression froze slightly. I've been a ghost for so many years. Do you have any wishes of your own? She blew out the candle directly. Who knew? The moment the candle went out, a violent banging sound suddenly came from the basement. Jewel, run fast. He's a monster. He wants to eat you. Is Big Brother really going to eat me? Juliet sat on the chair without moving, tilting her head to look at her brother. The elder brother's lips curved into a deeper smile. Yeah, I want to eat Jewel. Is Jewel scared? Not afraid. After all, You also want to eat, brother? It's just that she has a different way of doing it. Juliet's tongue light licked her lips. I'm kinda thirsty for my brother. In the basement, the imprisoned foster parents. It seems like they heard Juliet's conversation. They fell silent in an instant. Juliet is an evil thing. Best at deception. As long as you leave this villa, you will gain safety. The voices of the adoptive parents grew increasingly anxious. Juliet calmly looked toward the basement entrance. You went to great lengths, Tatri, to make me leave the villa. Actually, the real danger is outside, right? Whether it's the female host in the mirror, the male corpse on the TV, the watermelon headage in the doll, and you two impersonate foster parents. Your goal is all about forcing me to leave this villa. Well then, what exactly is waiting for me outside the villa? Juliet suddenly turned around. Look out the window. Yet it was pitch black. Can't see a damn thing. But the next second, a loud bang. The entire villa was shaking. A huge ghostly face was pressed against the window. The crimson eyes stared fixedly at Juliet's brother's expression. Cold and piercing eyes tinged with crimson. Even better, Thanthos, blind fools, disturbing me from spending Angel's birthday with her. Juliet's gaze was deep and heavy. The enormous ghostly face exuded an exceptionally sinister aura. This thing is a bit dangerous. No matter what happens, Jewel, do not leave the villa under any circumstances. A sharp knife suddenly appeared in my brother's hand. A cold, sinister gaze fixed directly in the danger outside the window. Juliet nodded obediently. I know. It seems that Big Bro has set up a barrier in this villa. The monsters outside simply can't get in. The villa is shaking more and more. The glass window is fragile and easily broken, completely shattered into pieces. The enormous, black, ghostly claw tried to reach inside. But the next second, the ghostly claw seemed to have touched something terrifying. The skin cracks inch by inch. Black smoke billows out. Come out now. The ghost face let out a piercing roar. Juliet hid behind her brother. Brother is glaring at me. Brother's eyes flickered slightly. Then he smiled and said, Brother, go and gouge its eyes out. The villa's door slammed open automatically. The cold wind rushed in. The cake on the dining table and the cutlery, all were knocked to the ground by the eerie wind. Brother's expression remained unchanged. The sharp tip of the blade glistens with a cold, menacing gleam. Step by step, walking towards the door, William flashed a hint of imperceptible hesitation. I just want that woman. Mind your own business, judging by its tone. It seems he doesn't want to be enemies with his brother. Big Brother tilted his head. The crimson glow in his eyes radiated extreme malevolence. Jewel is mine. Anyone who tries to take Jewel away deserves to die. The villa door suddenly slammed shut. Big Brother and Guy Lion were locked outside the door. No one could see what was actually happening outside. However, the crisis is not dissipated. The door to the basement slowly opened. It's pitch black inside. The hoarse voice kept calling her name. Juliet's expression remained unchanged, staring fixedly at the entrance to the basement. Finally, the adoptive parents completely crawled out. At this moment, the two of them no longer looked human at all. Juliet, it's all your fault. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have ended up like this. Threads of black mist spread from their bodies, turning into thick, heavy tentacles. Host, run for your life. The system urgently shouted. Juliet's body didn't move. Calmly said. No panic at this moment. The black tentacles had tightly coiled around Juliet's body. Little by little, they dragged him toward the basement. Juliet did not resist. Even took the initiative to head toward the basement. She just had to see. What the hell is hidden inside? Juliet shivered. It's really too cold here. And seeing the true face of the basement, she took a slight breath of cold air. A square-shaped altar. An altar is set up with a black stone statue over 2 meters tall. exuding an overwhelming aura of evil. Juliet's expression turned ferocious. She clearly saw the slight undulations of the bumps on the statue's body. This stone statue is alive. Evil God, your offering has arrived. We will sacrifice for you right away. The adoptive parents' voice were trembling with emotion. Juliet looked at the two of them. So those orphans you adopted, all are sacrificial offerings of stone statues. Perhaps it's certain that Juliet is about to die. The adoptive parents lied smugly. Of course, those useless things. To become an offering for the evil God. It's their honor. Then why must every sacrificial offering's birthday be November 28th? Juliet tilted her head and asked. Because this day is the evil God's birthday. They sneered coldly. We have it every month on the 28th. Must also offer sacrifices to Lord Evil God. And you are the sacrifice the evil God is most satisfied with. As long as it's on the night of your 18th birthday, offer your soul to the evil God. We will obtain endless wealth, power, and life. Juliet, Mom and Dad's good girl. For the happiness of Mom and Dad. Go to hell. Black tentacles dragged her toward the altar. Juliet's lips curled into a lazy smile. What a shame. I think I'm young and beautiful. Used to exchange for Mom and Dad. The lives of those two old bastards are just not worth it. She raised her hand and gave it a gentle tug. The tentacle wrapped around her neck snapped instantly. The foster parents' arriving faces flashed by. Shocked. How did Nini do it? After all, in their eyes, Juliet is just an ordinary human. Facing the terrified adoptive parents, she smiled and said, Mom and Dad, want to give it a try? Rest assured. I act fast, so you won't even have a time to feel the pain. Just kicked the bucket, and just as Ki Yeo was about to make his move, a thick, bluish-purple tongue suddenly pierced her body from behind. It's the evil God showing his divine power. The adoptive parents' eyes emitted a crimson light. They stared at the stone statue with fanatical expressions. Host, don't worry. Your body was just a vessel to begin with. Can be fixed at any time. Juliet frowned. Although it's just a vessel. But it really hurts when you get injured. How long has it been since Sesh last felt real pain? The wound on my body is getting bigger and bigger. She felt her soul being pulled. It feels like I need to break free from this body. The black stone statue emitted an eerie glow, growing increasingly greedy. It couldn't wait to devour Juliet's soul. Finally, Juliet's soul was yanked out of its body. Her body slowly collapsed to the ground. After Juliet left the body, I just feel completely relaxed and comfortable. This current state is so much more comfortable. Alright, it's time to settle the score. Juliet narrowed his eyes. The voice was low and ethereal. The stone statue immediately let out a scream. Just because the soul of Juliet is filled with terrifying ghostly aura. The foul stench filled the entire basement. Juliet looked disgusted. Disgusting stuff is everywhere. Take a look at you. I just think it's an eyesore. The stone statue wants to escape. But a ghostly hand that appeared out of nowhere suddenly grabbed the statue's head. Let me go, no way. You're too ugly. Letting you out would just pollute other people's eyes. What then? The moon's smile is pure and harmless. But beneath the gaze lies nothing but icy coldness. The ghostly hand suddenly lit in its grip. The statue's skull was instantly crushed. The system hurriedly came out to kiss ass. The host is really amazing. Such a terrifying, evil thing was crushed to death by you just like that. Juliet gave it a disdainful look. The stone statue is merely its base form. There's just a trace of sinister energy left inside. The real evil is strapped outside the villa. I wonder if that pervert brother won or not. Suddenly, a dark figure appeared at the entrance of the basement. I saw my brother covered in blood, holding a blood-stained dagger in one hand. The other hand held two blood-drenched eyeballs. His facial features were indistinct, But when they saw Juliet's corpse, the surrounding air suddenly turned icy cold. Brother's soul state. Juliet ran over and hugged her brother. The game mission time is about to end. But her conquest progress isn't complete yet. The most crucial thing is, she hasn't hurt this perverted brother yet. A bit of a loss. Jewel. Big brother's hands were trembling, caressing Juliet's face. I'm sorry, big brother didn't protect you well enough. Juliet let out a sigh. With a sorrowful expression, big bro is already very good. It's Jules' ill fate. It's just a pity. Jules' birthday wish will never come true. What is Jules' birthday wish? Brother asked Juliet to lean in close to his ear. Her in a state of soul, no longer afraid of theckedness in brother's body. My birthday wish is to sleep with my brother. Jewel, your wish, brother will make it come true for you. His voice was icy. Whether you're alive or dead, big brother won't ever let you leave my side. The evil energy that had dispersed in there gradually gathered once more. Juliet noticed. The aura around big brother began to turn sinister. Like a stone statue, her brother placed her corpse at the center of the altar. Then he lifted the bodies off his adoptive parents, throw them under the altar. He began chanting some strange incantation under his breath. Juliet pricked up her ears to listen. Not a single word was understandable. A strange black pattern suddenly appeared beneath the adoptive parents, start draining the life force of the two. Soon, they will turn into dried up corpses. And on the altar was Juliet. All physical wound shave completely healed. Juliet felt a powerful suction force coming from her body. She didn't resist. Go straight back into your own body. Opened my eyes, seeing the handsome yet sinister man in front of me. She softly called out, brother. The system urged the host, stop dawdling. The last bit of time. Hurry up and finish him off. When the time comes, max out mission's favorability meter. Let's just up and leave. Juliet also knew time was running out. But now, she and her brother were covered in blood. Bro, can you take a shower first? Her face felt a bit hot. Big brother picked up Juliet. He nuzzled Juliet's head, softly coaxing, big brother. Accompanying Julto take a bath together, their breaths intertwined. The huge villa was littered with traces of their battle everywhere. Soft, large bed. After eating this cheap older brother, she felt her ghostly power had subtly increased a bit. A thin layer of sweat formed on big brother's body. Breathing gradually grew heavier. Juliet feels like he's probably about to reach his breaking point. Ding. Game over. Congratulations to player Juliet for successfully completing the mission. A cold, mechanical voice sounded in Juliet's mind. Juliet was stunned. A flash of white light before my eyes. All the scenes vanished without a trace. And at the very last moment, Juliet saw her brother's face dark as ink, grim and gloomy. Goodbye, brother. Juliet's lips moved slightly. I don't know either. Did big brother finally hear her voice? The white light vanished. The next second, Juliet found herself in an illusory space. She hadn't had time to check her current situation yet. The voice of the system in my head started cursing and grumbling. This dumbass horror game. The system is just a tiny bit away from being successfully hacked. The system is about to go crazy. Strategy progresses reached 99%. Just one final step lift, and it's done. Successful, and after arriving at the white space in Juliet, the favorability level of Brothergongle suddenly dropped sharply. Only 59 left. You too. The system might as well just take out the horror game system altogether. The system suddenly weakened. Can't beat it. Its level is tens of thousands times higher than mine. I only have the fate of being fucked to death by it. It's just therapist guide system. Not a damn bit of use. Host, although I can't take it down. However, regarding the information about this world, I've already investigated and figured it out. The system said in a fawning tone. This world suddenly descended into horror 16 years ago. Then, 100 players will be selected from among humans. Enter a bizarre dimension to challenge a terrifying survival game. Players who successfully clear the game will receive various rewards. And the players who died in the game and the players who failed, body and soul will be obliterated. Juliet's eyes flickered slightly. Can the cause of the horror game's appearance be investigated? The system shook its round little head. My level is too low. Unable to uncover the truth. How can we get out of here, then? Juliet asked again. The system quickly replied. According to the information released by the humans of this world, successfully cleared 100 times, the horror game will return to the real world. But so far, not a single person made it back alive. The place we are currently in is the player lounge. After the player successfully complete the mission, will receive 72 hours of rest time. In this lounge, will obtain absolute safety. Moreover, it can also be achieved by spending tipping rewards. Buy various furniture, food, and daily necessities. Juliet followed the system's guidance. Check your donation amount. Seeing the amount over $1 million, her eyes gleamed slightly. A lot of money. Juliet decisively purchased it in the horror-themed mall. Wardrobe, bed, clothes, shoes, etc. Empty and desolate white space. It was decorated by Hirinto, a cozy little home. She took a quick look at the Servavalgier in the mall while she was there. After discovering that even the cheapest one required $1 million in rewards, I immediately chose to back out. 1 second late at disrespect to money. Afterwards, Juliet received the notification sound for the game settlement. Until the last sentence was heard. Acquired the special skill, Crow's Mouth. Can only be used once per day. Good doesn't come true. The bad thief is damn smart. Only useful for humans. Seeing the mission rewards, the system and Juliet fell silent. Go fuck yourself. What kind of trashy word is a Jinx mouth? After resting in Thew Height space for a while, soon, Juliet will enter her second game instance. Wait till I open my eyes. Already in an unfamiliar room. 2 hospital beds are neatly arranged. The air was filled with the pungent smell of disinfectant. A girl wearing a hospital gown, sitting on the hospital opposite Ki Yue. She has delicate and pretty features, but his expression was terrified and uneasy. At this moment, Ki Yue heard the game system's announcement in her mind. The background story of the game is a patient suffering from delusional psychosis, sent to Zicking Psychiatriskapil for treatment. However, in the hospital, you often see weird and bizarre monsters. When you tell the doctor about this matter, he said your condition is even worse. Are you a player too? The girl sitting opposite Ki Yue timidly spoke up. It's because of overwhelming fear. Tears welled up in the eyes. Juliet nodded in agreement. But seeing Juliet's overly calm demeanor, the girl's courage grew a bit as well. My name is Joe Muxwee. This is my second copy. When you found out that Juliet was a new player, Joe Muxwoo's expression turned disappointed. She still thought Juliet would let her ride on her coattails. The result is a noob just like her. The role of Joe Muxwee. It's a persecution complex, a mental illness. She always felt that Juliet was a bit dangerous. It seems like it would harm her. It gave her an urge to flee the hospital room. Juliet keenly sensed the change in Joe Muxwoo's mood. You seem a bit scared of me. Joe Muxwoo's face turned deathly pale as she shook her head repeatedly. No, you're overthinking it. Suddenly, the door off ward was open. Just then, a female nurse in her work uniform appeared. Holding the tray, she walked in. No, 74, no, 75. Time to take your medicine. Joe Muxwee didn't dare to resist. She tremblingly picked up the pill, swallow it straight into the stomach. Juliet pursed her lips. Take the medicine obediently. Number 75. Are you feeling any better? Joe Muxwee said with eyes full of fear. Nurse, I want to change wards. She wants to kill me." Her finger pointed at Juliet. However, the female nurse ignored Joe Muxwee, even quite satisfied with her performance. Number 74. How are you feeling? Juliet's expression was dull. No reply. No, 74. Talking to you. Are you deaf? The female nurse's voice suddenly turned sharp. Juliet is displeased. Pouting is not. Number 74. I'm a rare butterfly from South America. The name is Wasnadi. Who knew the female nurse would hear Juliet's reply? The expression returned satisfaction once again. Holding the tray, he left the ward. Juliet withdrew her gaze. Sure enough, after entering this dungeon, players will base their actions in their character's settings, becoming more and more abnormal. The medicine delivered by the nurse was meant to worsen the condition. Juliet walked out of the ward. The side mission is to escape the mental asylum. She was going to observe the mental hospital environment first. In the eerie and dimly lit corridor, patients in a daze camp scene one after another. Juliet quickly realized something was off. She noticed that some patients had wounds of varying sizes all over their bodies. Some are missing arms or legs. Some are even missing noses or eyes. Could it be that this psychiatric medical staff abusing patients in private? Suddenly, she stopped in her tracks. Gaze turned toward the glass frame hanging on the corridor wall. These are 6 rules containing crucial information. The content is extremely eerie. A patient who hasn't fully recovered. Don't sneak out of mental hospital. After 12 o'clock at night, patients are not allowed to leave the ward. When the knocking sound came in the night, never open the door. There are no red high heels in the mental hospital. The female nurse in the shoes. The mental hospital doesn't have a 4th floor. Do not come into contact with psychiatric patient number 1. It seems like you want to leave the mental hospital. First, make sure you are not sick. Juliet wandered around a bit more. He gained a general understanding of his current situation. The mental hospital consisted of only one building. It had a total of 7 floors. Patients were assigned to different floors, based on the severity of their conditions. He suffered from mild delusions. Currently, he was on the 2nd floor. As for that eerie 4th floor, the sky grew darker. Lights flickered sparsely across the other floors, yet the 4th floor remained completely dark. Who knows what would happen if he violated every single one of those rules? A glint of anticipation flashed in Juliet's eyes. A meaningful smile curled at the corner of his lips. Finally, the sky darkened completely. Juliet returned to his ward and began to wait. Late at night, when all is quiet, an eerie female nurse carrying a tray enters the ward. She instructs Juliet and Joe Muxwee to drink the medicine again. After taking the medicine, Joe Muxwee immediately falls into a deep slumber. Juliet's body feels nothing. She watches as the nurse leaves. Her gaze briefly lands on the nurse's shoes. The nurse is wearing white high heels. But the moment the door closes, her shoes instantly turn red. The high heels click against the floor. The sound grows distant, then draws near again, finally stopping right outside Juliet's ward. Juliet's ears perk up. She hears the doorknob turning. The door slowly creaks open. Juliet immediately shuts her eyes, pretending to be asleep. A bone-chilling coldness gradually envelops her, and she catches a familiar scent of blood. Something icy presses against Juliet's face, then slowly slides down, coming to rest at her throat. Juliet's eyes snap open, but at the sight of the person before her, pupils tremble slightly. In the dimly lit ward, her brother holds a sharp knife, pressed against Juliet's neck. Where have you been hiding all these days, Jewel? Her brother's voice is devoid of warmth, yet radiates a dangerous aura. Juliet senses his fury, the kind that's nearly impossible to soothe. Her scalp prickles with dread, but the system weighs extremely agitated. Host sees the opportunity. Ray strategize and win him over. This time, you will definitely succeed in completing the mission. But Juliet felt guilty. Because her brother's eyes genuinely looked like he wanted to kill her. "Brother, I miss you so much." Juliet sat up. The sharp blade grazed her neck. Crimson blood instantly stained Juliet's fair neck. Yet she seemed oblivious to the pain. She immediately hugged her brother's body. Her brother's eyes darkened. "Jewel, you're really disobedient." "Brother, I don't know what happened that day either. When I woke up, I was already in this mental hospital." Juliet's face flushed slightly. After all, she had suddenly disappeared in the middle of that with her brother. I wonder if it left a psychological scar on Big Bro. Could it be that you can't get it up anymore? Her brother picked her up. Juliet's hand instinctively wrapped around him. "Brother, where are you taking me?" Big Brother lowered his eyes and said coldly, "Jewel would appear here. It's because your body is sick. Brother needs to give Jewel a checkup." Only then did Juliet realize. Brother was wearing a doctor's uniform. On the left side of his chest was a name tag. It read, Lu Lee, doctor at West City Mental Hospital. So, Brother's mysterious job was as a doctor at a mental hospital. No wonder every day after work, he always carried a faint scent of disinfectant. But where did all that blood come from? Juliet suddenly thought of the patients with missing limbs in the mental hospital. Brother carried Juliet into the elevator, then pressed the button for the 7th floor. Juliet raised an eyebrow. It seemed only the medical staff of the mental hospital could use the elevator. Brother carried Juliet to the very end of the corridor. Inside a treatment room, Juliet saw all sorts of bizarre equipment. A sense of foreboding struck her. By then, Brother had already placed her on the treatment chair. "Little Yia's brother. What should I do to keep you by my side forever?" Cold handcuffs clamped around Juliet's wrists and ankles. Juliet's body was immobilized, her voice trembling slightly. "Brother, what are you trying to do?" Yet her eyes shimmered with excitement. Brother is going to treat little Yia's body. The pure white lab coat added a touch of asceticism to Brother. Only his skin was too deathly pale, making him look more like a patient. "Where should we begin first?" Brother smirked faintly. Picking up a scalpel, he twirled it near Juliet's collar. Juliet smiled and swallowed hard. Brother can do whatever he wants. Little Yia trusts Brother and won't resist. Little Yia, should Brother kill you and turn you into a specimen that will never decay? Or should I trap little Yia's soul by my side forever? Juliet knew this twisted brother was dead serious. She giggled coyly. "Brother, I think there's another option." "What is it?" The blade had already slipped past Juliet's second button. Little Yia thinks she could turn Brother into a specimen, or trap Brother's soul by little Yia's side. Juliet tossed the original choices back at him. "Brother, Jewel doesn't want to be separated from you either. Loves Jewel so much. Is it too much to sacrifice a little for Jewel?" Juliet cooed in a sweet, delicate voice. "Sometimes, to deal with a pervert, you have to choose a perverted method." Brother's gaze darkened. Who knows what was on his mind? He curled the corner of his lips. "You cunning little thing." The scalpel sliced open the third button. And right at that moment, a knock suddenly sounded outside the treatment room door. Juliet looked at the tightly shut door. Mental hospital rule number 3. When a knock is heard at night, never open the door.